get started here. A little bit after the time there. I'm sure we're going to post some trick on it. How many people think it doesn't feel like a Saturday at all? So, and I was the one that brought the cold weather with me down. When I first got to have this on the calendar, I circled up, yeah, November, down south, it's going to be great. Just as cold as it was weather. So, I'd like to welcome everybody. Thanks again. This session is about open online professional development with iTunesU and the iPad. I see some familiar faces from, I've done a couple sessions here. I did 2 sessions yesterday. Just kind of a little background to get started. My name is Mark Riley. I'm from the College of Health Science and Professions at Ohio University. Our college and our field as a whole has kind of been moving more towards mobile devices, iPads, along with other mobile devices, laptops, tablets. If you've been to the doctor here recently, you noticed that the nurses walked in with a tablet and she was taking down stuff. And physical therapists are doing the same thing. So we're starting to train our students to get used to having that iPad in your hand or some sort of device in your hand. You're going to be using it in your job. You know, as a technology coordinator, when this first started, I had 3 humongous concerns. And sorry, I had fun repeating myself, guys, but you know, how in the world do we take care of all these iPads? I've already got hundreds of laptops, desktops, and everything. How am I going to take care of all these additional devices? Number 2 on that is, you know, if we do take care of all these devices, how about all these apps? You know, an iPad without apps is literally just a web browser. And, you know, why even waste our time? So there was 2 big things that we had to address. But once we got this stuff addressed, my 3rd big concern was, we get all this stuff set up, well, how are we going to get faculty, everybody, to start actually bringing these into the classroom and using them? That's a story I've been sharing with everybody. My predecessor, the guy before me, one of the last things he did at our college was he bought smart boards and put them up on all the walls in the classroom. And it's been 5 years now, they're all still up on the walls in the classroom. Every now and then somebody will write on it with a marker or something, thinking it's a whiteboard, but they find out, actually that's a smart board there. So my big goal was I wanted to avoid that. I didn't want these $30,000 of iPads just sitting around the hall. I wanted them to be used. So that's kind of what this session is about, is how I actually engaged with faculty, kind of got the iPads in their hands. I guess it's a success story. When we first started this 2 years ago, I was handing iPads out to faculty and they were like, whoa, I don't want that thing. I don't even know. Whereas now, I probably couldn't pull that iPad away from them. They're coming to me now, stopping in the hall, hey, I just found this app. It's really, really cool. We got to give this a try. So they're starting to look for apps that they can use in the classroom. As of right now, if you take anatomy in our college, just expect to have an iPad. We're teaching anatomy. There's 3 major anatomy apps that we're using, so just plan on it. So things are starting to change. We're in year 2. Hopefully year 3 brings a lot of changes. Hopefully next year I'll be here with some other things on that. So just a little overview of today's session. I'm just going to show everybody around the iTunesU Course Manager, how to actually build a course, get in there and build a course. In the beginning, the iTunesU Course Manager was only for kind of just Apple devices. You actually had to use just Safari. Safari was the only thing you could use to get on there. But that's changed. You know, I was on the Course Manager last night with my PC laptop. Right now, as long as you have a browser, you can get to the Course Manager. I'll show everybody that here in a little bit. Also talk a little bit about just kind of creating online professional development for faculty, staff, teachers, education teachers, educators. We all face the same thing. I mean, how many people have heard, I don't have time for that? Or, I'm not going to use that in my classroom. I don't need to do it. Things like that. I get that all the time. So how do we deal with that? And I'd like to show everybody the iTunesU app for iOS. Not really just for the iPad, because actually you can have it on your phone as well too. So what we found out is a lot of faculty put it on their iPad and they actually put it on their phone. So they have it at both places and can get to the content that we're throwing out. It's really, really cool. Just a little bit about our college before we get started. Health Science Professions, we had 9,200 total students. When I first got there, we had 5,000 total students, so we've been growing like crazy. 4,000 plus of those 92 students are online students. I've never seen them. They've never stepped foot in that building. They probably never will. So that's a little different thing that we have to deal with. Along with that, we have growing programs, new faculty, remote faculty. I have a faculty member in Arizona. I've never met her. I've never actually shook her hand, but I think I met her online. But you know, she teaches students every semester. So my plate's kind of full with different things. You know, we try to do on-site trainings, we try to do online trainings. We're doing a bunch of different things. And what I'm talking about today is just one of those things that we're doing. Please don't think that we've just gone straight iTunesU and that's all we're doing. This is just one of the many things that we're doing. We have our iTunesU. But probably on a Friday, I'll also have a little brown bag lunch and we'll kind of talk about the same thing. So it's just kind of another way to get this stuff out to faculty, staff, teachers, all that. We started, a couple years ago, we started an iPad learning lab. Carts with 20 iPads. We loaded apps for teaching onto those. We can literally bring them right into the classroom, hand them out to the students. There's an instructor iPad. Apple TVs, I know you guys are all familiar with this stuff. Television carts, pretty much just one just like this. We have Wi-Fi hotspots. So I can bring this cart right into somebody's lab. So we have a lot of labs. We really don't have a lot of general classrooms like this. We have a lot of learning labs, phys labs, anatomy labs. So we can bring these into the labs, hand them out to the students, distribute them, and basically get a classroom on the lab. One of the first questions I get from everybody is, well, why iTunesU as an LMS? Why would you go to that? We've got Blackboard at our university. We've got another one that we're piloting. A lot of people use Moodle. I could have easily made a Moodle course. I mean, I could have done a lot of things. I played with the new Google courses. I mean, there's so many things I could have used. So why did I choose iTunes as an LMS? Well, one, it was free. For me, that's really important. I don't want to pay extra money. We'll pay and do the group on Blackboard. I know a lot of you might not have to deal with that, but they pay tons of money for Blackboard. Along with that, it's easy to use. If you've ever used Blackboard, it's absolutely not easy to use, and they change it every year. So you've got to learn something new. iTunes, it's intuitive. It's just like everything else in the iPad. It just makes sense. Another reason, we made this investment in iPads. It just kind of made sense, kind of go along with it. We moved to iPad, so it just kind of fit. Everybody's walking around now with an iPad in their hand. iTunesU is just an app that you just go download. It just kind of made sense. It all just kind of fit together. And that may be true for what you guys are doing too. You're pushing out iPads into your classrooms, you're going one-to-one, you're going to carts, faculty are now carrying around. It may just work. They've gotten it in their hands. So here's a little bit about iTunesU. Actually, it started in 2007. And a lot of you may not know that. A lot of you might think, oh, it's actually about 7 years now. It actually really wasn't that popular when it first started out. It was mostly just podcasting. You guys remember that? Just basic podcasts. Some of you have a course that was 20 podcasts that were 20 minutes long that you just kind of had to sit and listen to. No visuals, no documents, no nothing. It would work. It was just basically just some audio lectures that you would put out. Didn't really gain a lot of popularity, but that kind of thing. But after 2007, this little guy started coming along, the iPad came along. Well, now things are starting to change. So all of a sudden, we're now able to deliver more content, videos, pictures, documents, pages, numbers, all those different kind of documents. We can throw those out. And now member institutions can have their own iTunesU site. At Ohio University, we have our own iTunesU site. I'll show you guys here in a little bit. Where faculty can go in and create a cool Twitter course and put it on iTunes. And students can go onto that site, look for it, literally click a button and join it. I'll show you guys here in a little bit, but I invite everybody, download the iTunesU app and just search around for different university courses that are out there. A lot of people are offering stuff that's free. I'm taking a statistics course. It's terrible. But I kind of wanted some supplemental info. I wasn't getting enough in the class I'm taking. The professor's great, but I just wasn't getting it. Well, I found an iTunesU course about statistics from the University of Michigan. They had videos made up and everything. It was a great supplement for what I was doing. I'll show you guys that here in a little bit. It's a great resource to learn with stuff. I have a friend who Harvard made a cooking class to put it up there. You go and take a cooking class and go through the thing, different steps. And obviously, you're not going to get college credit on that, but you get to learn something. So nowadays, it's grown to include more types of media. As I said, movies, everything you can put on there now. And that's about the other day when I checked, they were boasting that they had over 75,000 files for download on iTunesU. So you can take a course, you can download all these. There's so much stuff out there. two parts to iTunesU. On this side here, we've got the iTunesU Course Manager, which is how we build the course. We build the course in the Course Manager. It's the content management system there. And then we have the iTunesU app, is what we actually use to take the course. Now you can also take the course on a laptop. You can have iTunes, you can do that there, but you're missing out on a lot of the stuff because you're designing this for the iPad. Keep that in mind. You're designing this for the iPad. You're designing this for somebody to grab their iPad, log into it, and just be able to use it on here and not really on a laptop. But they can use it on there. And I will mention that this has changed here in about the last couple of months. You used to have to do two things separate. I had to make it on a laptop. I then had to preview it on the app. That's actually changed in the past couple of months. You can do most of the stuff here on the app. I can actually build a course on the app now. I don't need the laptop. I can do it all right here. I'll talk about that here at the end. But yeah, you can load your content here. You can change your instructor profile. You can change pictures. You can do a lot of the stuff right here. And I'll talk about that here in a little bit. So the iTunesU Course Manager, what is it? And here's what I was talking about earlier. It's a free browser-based LMS from Apple. It's totally free. You don't have to pay for anything. You don't have to put in your credit card number. Nowadays, it works with pretty much any browser. Before it was just Safari, which kind of limited you. You had to use Safari. Now you can use Firefox, Chrome. You can even use Internet Explorer if you're that adventurous. I can't guarantee that on Internet Explorer. But all it requires is an Apple ID. Just an Apple ID, just one that you would go sign up with. You don't even really have to, you don't have to be an educator. You don't have to be somebody in higher ed or somebody in K-12. Anyone that signs up for an Ohio ID, or that signs up for an Apple ID can go on and create a course. You can have up to 5 instructors collaborate together. That's kind of a new feature. You used to not be able to add that many instructors. Now we can put up to 5. You can have up to 12 courses with 50 students per course. I think for something free, for folks in K-12, that would handle probably all your classes, all your students. I've got a little asterisk there. That changes if you're part of an affiliated institution. I'll talk about affiliated and unaffiliated. Since I'm with Ohio University, we have that iTunesU page, site, and everything. So I actually get unlimited students, unlimited courses. It's actually kind of nice. I do have a course that I built that we had a couple times.
Yeah. Would it be easy to replicate that course if you had, we were just thinking about, we had 150 students or something. Would it be easy to replicate the course to allow others to come in?
Yeah. And that's actually a feature they just added. You used to not be able to copy your course.
Okay.
That's something we do a lot in Blackboard is basically copy the course packet for next year. You used to not be able to do that in there. It's kind of a hassle. I had to re-upload everything. But now, yeah, I can easily, and then I'll show you guys, it's usually just a copy course, have it ready. And it's the same one. It'll work for what you guys are doing, 150 people, you can split it into 3. And you can access it here. I'll post all this stuff on the Edmodo site, so you can worry about writing all this stuff down. But you can easily just actually search for iTunesU Course Manager. Nice little link. I bookmarked that link just so I can get right to it. Some other cool features about iTunesU before I'm going to jump in and kind of show you guys what iTunesU looks like. It integrates with iBooks and iTunes, obviously. If you attended my iBooks session yesterday, I think I see a few of you that were at that session. If you attended that session yesterday, I can create my own book now with iBooks Author and publish it to the iBook store. So you could write your own book and create your own course to go along with it. There's really nothing stopping you. You don't have to pay any money. It's all free. You just have to design it. I can create public courses. I can create private courses. A lot of times what I'm doing, I'm creating private courses, especially for my faculty. I don't really want all that stuff getting out there to everybody. I don't want somebody to be able to click and then join. But I've also created a lot of public courses that, if you see it, come join in. And I've designed them to be more of a public course. Your question is, well, now I can duplicate, I can even send a course to somebody. So you can say, oh, I designed this course. You may have a colleague at another university, another school. Hey, check this out. You can actually just duplicate that, send it to them. They have that course now. And then they can go in and change it around a few things. And finally, I can copy a course. And And one thing I do want to note, 20 gigabytes of storage for course materials, which is, because it's a lot. You know, I usually make a movie is about a gigabyte sometimes. So you can put like 20 1-gigabyte movies there. I mean, that's 20 different sections that you could put in there and still have plenty of room. Go ahead.
Can you enroll people yourself? So if you've got students and you want them to be able to post their iPad?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. And I'll show you how to do that here. There's actually a few ways to enroll. One way is you get an enroll code, which is just a code that they can pop into there, just like they were downloading a song or something. It's that kind of app code. You can also, it has a link, like a free public link that I can just video click here, and you'll get it. What I like doing with that link is turning it into a nice little QR code. That way somebody can just come right up to it. I do that a lot for the public courses. They can just click right on that and go. But yeah. And before I jump into it, guys, I want to talk about affiliated versus unaffiliated accounts. I guess is the way to say it. And this just isn't for higher ed. I guess the iTunesU might make think like it's only a university thing, but there's a lot of K-12 schools out there that have their own iTunesU site. I'm not quite sure on the process to do that. I think it's pretty simple. But get my hands to that.
I manage our public site,
okay.
And you just as a teacher are not going to be able to apply. You have to put in superintendent, your IT guy. You have to kind of show that you are who you are, and then there's a process where you submit an application, and then they get back to you. So if you as a teacher are applying, probably not going to work. You want to go to your IT director and say, hey, can you put in for this?
How long of a process did that take?
It took us about a week.
Sounds about right.
And then there's a whole, now you're public facing, so there's a whole page that needs to be designed, so your graphics department's probably going to get involved. There's a lot of branding involved with that as well. So
maybe I'll show a few pages just so that you can actually see what that looks like. Because yeah, we had to do the same thing to that. There's some graphics up there.
I modeled from my page. Sweet.
I really don't have that much to do with it. I picked out some of the pictures. So I can be affiliated, I can be unaffiliated. There's some benefits for either, but if you have the opportunity, like your school, to actually be affiliated, it's nice. It does let you put your courses out there publicly. People can actually see all your courses publicly. Whereas if you're an unaffiliated course, a lot of your courses are even, a lot of your stuff's just going to be private. You're kind of limited on some of the things you can do. But still, you can, and either way, you can get your courses out there, and you can still use iTunesU. A lot of people ask me, well, what kind of media can I actually put there? Here's some audio, MP3, M4A, great stuff to do. Video, basically all the new stuff, all the new formats. Obviously, since it's Apple, it's going to love the MOV format that you get from iMovie or QuickTime. I can even put EPUB or iBooks in there. I can link in different books. PDFs, I'm going to probably harp on that a lot today. All my stuff that I put on here, I put on PDF. Just because this device isn't really made for open up Word documents or Pages documents, but it can always open every single PDF that it sees. So I always tell people, save your stuff as PDFs. Put it up there. Even the phone can open it with PDF. Shouldn't be an issue. I can even put apps, and that's what we're doing a lot with our courses. With our faculty, a lot of what we're trying to train them is, hey, start using this Evernote app to do your notes. Start using this EduCreations app to make these little videos. So I'm telling people, go download these apps. I even tell people, go download Angry Birds. Go download a game. That's usually the first thing I tell people. Go download a game. For all the folks that say, I've never touched an iPad before, and this is what I did with my mother. We bought her an iPad, and she didn't use it for like 2 years. I put Words with Friends on there, and she won't stop using it now. Just basically because the game teaches you the different gestures and everything. So I tell people, usually the first assignment is, hey, just go download a game or something. Just go start playing. Images are great to put on there, and obviously links. I can put tons of different kinds of links. I can link to anything. I can even link to stuff into iTunes. I'll show you guys how to do that. If there's a book already in iTunes that you want somebody to download, or if it's in the iBook store, you can put a link up there and say, hey, assignment number 2, go download this book, read chapter 1. It's all right there. Oh, okay, good. Let me fire up the iTunesU Course Manager don't mind, I don't want to sit for this one, so I'm not going to come down with it. And I'll kind of get out of the way of the TV monitor here. So let me, I guess I usually just use Chrome. I use Google Chrome. Let me sign out so you can see the process what it looks like. And you'll notice that when you're working with iTunesU, it's going to ask you to log in a lot. It's kind of a security thing. You kind of walk away from your computer for a little bit. It's going to, oh, you need to log back in. Same way on the iPad. Before you used to just download the app, fire it up, it was ready to go, you already logged in. Now, you fire up the app, you have to log in every time. So you guys will, it might get annoying. I know a lot of people say, I don't have time to log in all the time, but it's just one of the things that they changed for security reasons. So iTunesU Course Manager, this page right here, like I said, guys, bookmark that page. It's going to first log me in to the dashboard. I'm going to kind of look at my notes here while I'm doing this. Kind of log us into the dashboard, and this is kind of your home page. Here's our landing spot for where we can pretty much do everything. Always brings up this nice help topics section at the side here. If you ever have any questions, the stuff you have questions about, just kind of take a look in here. There's a nice little glossary. There's some other stuff that kind of walks you through all this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and close that down right now, though. You ever need to bring that up, there's that nice little question mark there. Is it right there? At any time as well, guys, if you need to get back to the home page, you can just click right up there. First thing I want to show everybody is creating your instructor profile. If I click on my little name up there and go to my instructor info. Now, the reason I tell people to do this is, you can actually do this in every course you make. You can go in and you can write up a new instructor bio every single time. If you go in there, you log in first, and you go up to the top, and you go to my instructor info, this will then carry over to every course you make. For me, I like that benefit. I don't want to have to mess with this thing every time. I just want to create a course and then stuff go in there. You don't have to do that if you want to kind of go do that every time. But I advise people to go in there, create an instructor profile, put your title down. Here's where you can link yourself with an institution. Luckily, I got to. So the process is, if you are an affiliate institution, I'm an instructor. I would basically have to say, hey, can you add me to the list of our
request to be added
access
as a contributor to the public site?
Yeah. And that's what I did with our tech guys, and that gave me access to this Ohio University section. For some of you, you may not get that. Your institution might just be your name, your own little institution. It just means you're a part of an affiliated course or site. And then kind of write up a little instructor bio, kind of write a little thing. People kind of want to know a little bit about you. You can do things. You can put links and stuff there. Put people to your Twitter site, everything. I always tell people, always upload an image. That's kind of a pet peeve of mine. I can't stand when somebody's got just let's see a face. Try to pick out a professional image. I think it has to be 300 by 300, just a little thumbnail. You can literally, yeah, there it is. It must be 300 by 300. And you can choose that right from your computer. When you're done, click Save. Now, that's great because any course I make from here on out is going to have that instructor info already right there. Along those lines, I always like to tell people, also check out my materials library. It kind of works the same way. I can throw all my materials into this library, and then I can just kind of bring those materials in with each of my courses. Or I can create the course and I can just start putting materials there. However you want to do it. I've noticed that I have a lot of materials that are the same across courses. You may notice that you have like an intro video that's just a good generic intro video that can work with all your courses. That's a good file to throw into your materials. Go ahead.
So that's something that's all restricted to you, and until you physically put it into a course, nobody else can see it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So it's already there for you. Really good, if you kind of throw everything up there, you can work a lot more straight from your iPad just because it's already in my materials library. Let me go grab this video. Actually, I can kind of show you guys. It's really nice too because iTunesU kind of breaks it down into the different categories. It'll show all my podcasts, it'll show all my videos. Here's a lot of the videos that I've made. We made a little video called Grant Writing for Junior Faculty. We made it 17 minutes, which people started throwing rocks at me for. We actually made a video 17 minutes long and wanted them to watch it. So we got a lot of feedback on that. You know, obviously if I could make it again, we'd make it a lot smaller, shorter, kind of give them just the information they need. But I uploaded that video right there to my materials library. It's there. I can use it for any course that I have, and I use that one a lot. Next year we'll remake this course. That video's already there. I can easily just link it right back in. Here's what I can add: books. I can also add documents, as you guys notice here. Everything I've got up there is a PDF. Just try to make sure everything you're putting up there is a PDF, because everybody can do it. And it's a little more secure. Somebody can't go in and actually change anything. Here's the section where I have apps. Now these are all apps that I'm basically telling all my faculty, hey, go check this app out. We have Box at our university. You guys use Box? It's another cloud option. It's just like Dropbox. Box is actually touted as being more secure. Since we're in the health field, we have a lot of HIPAA, FERPA stuff to deal with. Box is actually, they claim to be HIPAA approved and everything. So it's a cool little app that I can put on my iPad and my phone. I think I mentioned, we do a lot of anatomy teaching, so I tell all the faculty, go get Essential Anatomy 4 if you're doing any kind of anatomy teaching. Have it right there, get used to that app. There's just a few other ones. You know, I want to point out, anybody else using Socrative, the teacher response system? I fight with our tech guys at our campus because we're still making our students buy $50 clickers that run on, that run on the Wi-Fi.
And you can use any
device. Oh, I've been in so many arguments in meetings. Like, guys, you could use anything. You could use a Kindle. We tried it on a Kindle. Like, no. And so we have Turning Point. So we make every student buy a Turning Point clicker, which they always forget. Every day, it's another device they have to bring. So just as a little caveat, I guess, if you like student response systems or you think about trying some, what's that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that buzzword too. Kind of keeping people engaged. Maybe if I have time here, I'll kind of show you guys the crowd. But I mean, you get a little classroom, puts the question up on the board. Students go in A, B, C, or D, and they can respond there. Right then and there, throws you up a graph. Oh, half of you answered this wrong. We can kind of talk about it there. If we get time, I'll show you guys that. And we're using Google Drive a lot. Google Drive's nice. I'm sure you guys are using that. We use Google Drive a lot to kind of collaborate. And also some web links, which I include a lot in iTunesU. It's just kind of a stepping point for you to go get more information. And kind of think about it. We're dealing a lot with faculty. Designing learning for faculty or teachers is a lot different. I mean, they're smart people. They're very smart people. They're educators. A lot of times they just kind of need you to show them where we're going. Yeah, push them where we're going. We'll take it from there. We'll find out, the stuff that they need to know. So a lot of what I'm designing kind of goes on that premise. Let me go back here. So guys, every time I need to go back, just click on that little iTunesU icon there at the top. It brings me back. Actually, it didn't ask me to log in, actually. So let's see here. Let's create our first course, which is pretty easy, as you can see it here. And actually, guys, real quick, take note of how this looks. You'll kind of notice that when I fire up this iPad, it's going to look a lot alike, which wasn't the way before. The course manager looked one way, and when you finally got to the iPad, it looked totally different. But nowadays, actually, this whole thing that you're seeing, you'll see the same thing on the iPad here in a second. Let me go ahead and create a course. And this is what it looks like when we create a course. Pick a course name. We can pick a short name, and then maybe we'll call this one TL iPad 101. Pick kind of anything. We can pick the institution. We go back to Ohio University. Basically, that just means this course will now be listed under the Ohio University course. I can pick the level, and this kind of helps folks on the other end they're trying to look for a course. They can kind of view things by level, Language, you can change the language. Category, here's some more ways that people can find your course. You can actually pick, usually we see on these ones, I usually do teaching and learning. This is the one category I use a lot when I'm making professional development. And I can then go in, I think, educational technology is one way to do it. I didn't click here if you're designing courses. I mean, there's some courses out there that have some explicit material. There's some adult courses coming up that Harvard and stuff are making that has some stuff that probably isn't appropriate for some younger children. Here's where I put the course description. I would always write up, make sure you have a course description ready and written up, a couple paragraphs just kind of describing. Again, just some more stuff to help people find your course if you're trying to get it out there. I can make my course self-paced, which just means, I can download this whenever I want. I can go through those 10 weeks of materials in one day. I can go over each 10 weeks. But I can also make it in session. I can make it start. I can make it correspond with my academic calendar. I can make it start right on September 1st, and I can make it end right in, I think we end in December 15th or so. So I can make it stop right there, week by week, and just make it like a regular course. Go ahead, ask it.
Sorry.
No.
So when you say it's week by week, the new materials for that week show up only on that week?
No, you still have to control it.
Okay.
You still have to control it, yeah.
Okay, so it's like we just set up when you're going to post stuff and post it.
Yeah. And it's just, it's really for the folks on the other end. And they just kind of know, oh, this is an in-session course. We kind of have a week-by-week thing going on. And it's advertised that. Whereas a self-paced course, people just know, hey, I can log in. I can do this whenever. I can take this course at night or one of those things. You can also enable discussions. And this is a new feature with iTunesU. That before, it had no discussions in it. It was kind of one of those things. It was really lacking. You'll find that iTunesU doesn't have a grade book or anything. There's no really assessment feature. That's kind of one of those. I don't know if we'll ever put one of those in there. That's okay though. Especially for this, we can find other ways to assess folks. We don't actually have to have a grade book in here. I know a lot of you might be used to an actual grade book along with your learning management system. This doesn't have it. I don't know if we'll ever get that. It didn't have discussions for the longest time, but now they finally enabled discussions, which is great because now some of the posts, people can actually put a few comments and things in there. Go ahead.
Once your course is pushed to a public affiliated site, discussions are disabled, and so are enrollment lists. You cannot see who is enrolled in your course. You can only see how many people.
I'll show you. I'll show everybody. No. I'll show everybody that too. But yeah, you're right. And I found that out the hard way too. Once you make a course public and open, the discussions kind of go away. Just because a lot of it is
You don't want that name.
yeah. And people are anonymous then for one. A lot of people are just anonymous. So anybody can post anything. Finally, here at the end of licensing, so I can actually choose what I want. Maybe this is just totally open to everybody. Feel free to do whatever. I like making it all rights reserved. I made the movie. I made the videos. I made the materials. That's kind of my stuff. Kind of one thing you want to put in there. And then finally here at the top, you can add an image for what your course will look like. If you're going to put something out publicly, that's something you might want to spend a little bit of time on. And a lot of people look at that and they kind of say, oh, look at that. It's kind of an eye catcher for people. Might not be as important with a private course. Not a big use kind of throw any image there, but if you're thinking about putting that out there, try to get a good image in there. Let me go ahead and see. I'll just go ahead and see. Okay. I'll go to one of the other courses here. So here's a few courses that I have. I'm actually working on, this is one of the faculty development courses that we're working on for next year, so maybe we might jump into it. I'm getting ready to put together a training session for this is Athens County Children's Services. So I got contracted out by our Job and Family Services to do training for our Children's Services organization because they're now carrying iPads with them as they go into site visits and homes and stuff, and they're taking notes on it. So I'm going to try to train them. Basically, I'm just going to make an iTunesU course, and so they have the iPads in their hands already. So we're just going to kind of train them through that. But here's, and we were just talking about public courses. Here's one of the public courses I made. I teach freshmen. We have learning community seminars. So if you're a freshman in college now, you pretty much have to take one of these learning community seminars. It's basically one of those intro to college courses. I don't know if you guys ever had to take that. That was kind of, as I was finishing college, that was kind of being the new thing, but you know, they found out that freshmen, if they actually take this course, the retention rates go up way. So I've been teaching a couple of these classes. I thought a couple years ago, you know what, I want to try out this iTunesU thing. We'll make a course for this class. Let me go ahead and click on it here and just kind of show you guys kind of what we did. And I collaborated with a couple of other instructors to do this. There were 5 of us total that did this. There's our mascot here in the middle. We keep kind of this as well. But basically, iTunesU makes an outline of the course. And I'll touch on this here in a second. But the outline is kind of the backbone, the meat and potatoes of your course. Just design an outline. Design a 15-week outline, a 10-week outline of what each learning module is going to be. That's where I usually tell people to start. And as you can see here, I came up with, you know, we're doing 15-week semesters now, so, you know, I have 13 weeks of stuff. We have a week off for Thanksgiving, so we only meet like 13 times. So this was stuff I had for my students. I don't want to say I flipped the classroom. I really didn't flip the classroom, but I was trying to flip the classroom a little bit and trying to get them. Let me just click on one here. So basically, yeah, like here, here's a time management video, which is like week 2. I found out that students started to call it terrible time management, so that's kind of one of the first things we do. So I told the students, hey, watch this time management video, come to class, week 2, we're going to talk about time management skills and this and that. So that's kind of my way that we flip the classroom. Go back to there. Now, as you guys can see, I had discussions going on, but once I made it public, it did away with my discussions. Totally fine. As you guys can see here as well, it's telling me I have 193 students that signed up for that course, but I can't click on it. I can't see those people. Whereas my other courses, and I don't have any folks in here yet, but I can actually click on there, and it will show me the enrolled students. I can even see, while I'm here, let me go ahead and show you guys. I can even block students. I guess there might be instances where you would block students. There might be some new requests. You can also change the enrollment, make it auto-enroll. Here's where I get that enrollment code. Now this enrollment code is real nice because I can easily just tell people, hey, go to iTunesU, type in E4M dash that, and you'll be right in the course. Or what's really nice, there's that little get link right there. I can easily just hit that get link, and then there it is. And copy and paste that. I can send that out. Folks just need to click on that link, they're right in the course. Let me go back. Now, if you notice at the very end here, the column, you'll see this little gear box here, which we all know that's usually where we go in and change the settings. So let me just click on, let me click on this one here, and I'll show you the settings that come up. So this gives us a quick access to our enrollment code, quick access to our course settings. Right in the beginning, guys, when we were setting up that course, let's say you kind of messed up on something, want to change it. You click on course settings, brings us back there. Maybe I wanted to change, no, that's really not into that subcategory, it's kind of that category. I can go back and save it. I can set the instructors here as well. So here's where I would add more instructors. Click on the instructor one. I can add a contributor. And it's really as easy as just grabbing their Apple ID. Not their email, well, their email and their Apple ID might be the same thing, but just kind of know it's their Apple ID, just in case it's different. Just throw their Apple ID in and send them an invite. And they'll be right on your course. Gives them access to do everything that you can do as well. I mean, they can upload stuff, they can post, they can make up discussions. And here's where you'd also do the duplicate course, send course. We can transfer the course, and we can ultimately delete the course if we need to. We might have, we might get a bunch of courses. I've had to go in and delete some of my courses. Now, I think I created these courses outside my affiliated institution, so it's not giving me the right to add to the public catalog. But if I was making a public class course, I could easily, and this one's already added to it, but if I was making something public, designed it, ready to go, I would then go here and go to add to public catalog. And with that, you go ahead and add in.
I don't do it that way, but it's not near there.
Yeah.
You get that far, I do it at home.
There's a few different, and I've been, in the past, I've just emailed our guy and said, hey, I've got this course, can you make it public? So there are a few ways that you can make that course public. I'm not sure if a lot of you are planning to make public courses. You may just be intending to make private courses to do training for your faculty. Let's see, so let me put that. So I want to kind of show you, so let's actually go into one of the courses and I want to kind of show you guys the layout of what a course looks like. And the one thing I love about iTunesU, it's really simple. There's really not much to it. If you guys will notice, it's kind of very long here. Let's move it up here. Move it up a little bit. So, really on all your courses, there's the course info, there's course posts, and there's course materials. That's really all the students have. There's info, posts, and materials. On the students' end, they don't see this admin side. That's really just for you. And if I click on that, you kind of see, that's just all those course settings and stuff that we can go into. The students don't get to see that. When they log in on their iPads, they're only going to see course info, course posts, course materials. Let me just go through those sections here real quick. So course info is just kind of all the info you need to get out about the course. You have the overview, which is basically just all the details that you put in. There's an instructor tab, or that's bringing in that the instructor profile that you created in the beginning. I like how it makes I like the round avatars rather than the square ones too. That's just a cool thing. I think it looks cooler. And you have the course outline. Now this is, like I just mentioned, guys, this is the heart of the course outline. First thing I would do with designing your course, I would just sit down on a piece of paper and just go 1, 2, 3, 5, and just write out your course outline, because your course basically runs off this outline. And I'll show you here in a minute how that works. I've also, in this course, I put in iPad policy, just a little iPad policy on, hey, these are actually owned by us still, and we'll go read on that. What's really cool about the info section is now I can add a new page. This is actually a new feature. Before, I could only put overview, instructor, outline. That was the only thing that showed up for students. Now I can add a new page, and I can literally make it anything. I can make it tips on taking this course. And I can write up the whole thing on, hey, here's some tips on taking this course. If you don't have the time to do it, you might not be able to take this course. Or just some things that I want people to know. And it'll show up here. Actually, let me go ahead and just save it. As you can see, it then shows up here on the side. Go ahead.
And you're probably going to cover this. It's important to know.
Yes.
The pages on the left are static and linear. You can't attach materials to them. They're just straight up information you need to know before you get started. The outline is what drives the posts section. So when you click on outline, you can't click on any of those things, but when you go to posts, then you see on the left, you have your outline, and then you can add posts to each section of the outline. That, when I first started, I was just like, well, post pages, what's happening here? So that was important for me to figure that out.
He's covered that.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's cool. That's totally cool. Because same thing happened to me. What in the world is going on here? And that's why I'm saying, get your outline down first, because this post section, which is what the students are going to see, it goes together. And basically each post corresponds with something in your outline. So if you have a post for week 1, it will correspond with your week 1. And so basically I have a welcome here. So when I create a post, I would just put it into this welcome course. I'll show you that here in a minute. Real quick, let me go to materials. So that in the materials section, this gives the students just a big rundown of, here's all the materials that's in the course. And they can go into there and see. So I've got, and just like before with the iTunesU course maker. Now, it's really not much with just some words there and some directions. Now I can actually add an assignment, which now I'm going to bring in some of my materials to there. So I'm going to add an assignment, description, let's say, let's go, actually since this is about apps, let's go, the assignment is to download at least one of these apps and try it. That's the first thing I want people to do. Now I'm going to go to attach materials. So here's where it's really nice. If I've got everything in my materials library already, it's already there. If it's not already there, it's really not much of a hassle. I can go ahead and upload it. But let me show you guys how that works. Attach material. I can look for stuff from my computer. It might be in Dropbox or something. I can do that. I can search the iTunes store or the bookstore. That's really nice. Maybe there's a book that's already out there. I can send people right to it. We've had people send their students to a song to download. We've had some music professors say, hey, go download this song, listen to it up till 3 minutes, and then we have to write this reflection on it. Same way, we can grab an iTunes web link. So if you know of the Socrative app there on the iTunes store, you can grab that web link right there. Or, like I said, guys, right from my materials, I can just go boom, and click on my materials. It then gives me a nice little list of, well, here's all my materials. So, you know what, I want people to download this Evernote. Does anybody use Evernote? Isn't it awesome? Awesome, yeah. Try out Evernote if you guys get a chance. It's just a great note-taking app because I do most of my stuff on the road. I can just talk my note right into it. It's right here when I get home. I mean, it's great. So check it out, guys, if you get a chance. It's kind of a little addition there. So I click that plus. Now I've added that app to that assignment. So part of this assignment is to download at least one of these apps. Actually, so let me, yeah, we'll do that right there. That's fine. I can save the draft. Say I don't want to post it yet. Kind of we were talking about, hey, maybe we don't want to actually post it. You could save these all as drafts. So if you're doing the week by week thing, you could then release it when you need. I'm going to go ahead and just post this one, which will then show up under the mobile iPad Learning Lab in our outline. So let's scroll down to that there. Let's scroll down to yep. So now there's our, under mobile iPad Learning Lab, we have 5 assignments. And here's what's really nice is the students can go on there. The first one is, well, please read the guidelines for the mobile iPad Learning Lab. That's kind of cool. I've attached a PDF there. When the students are done doing that, they can even go in there and they can click on that. It won't let me click on the teacher. I'll show you guys here in a minute on the iPad. But as they finish up their assignments, they can go in and click, oh, I'm done with that one. I watched that video. I downloaded that app. So they can then check off what they're doing.
Is that something you can see as the instructor who's checked off what?
No, you can't. There's, and that is kind of one of the downsides I should do. There's a lot of analytics, and I love the analytics of all that. But a lot of those analytics, I don't get to see. I don't, with Blackboard, I can see that you logged on at midnight and stayed on for an hour. I can see that you never logged in and you're
printed your paper at 11:52.
Yeah, I can see it. You'll miss out on a lot of those analytics here in iTunesU. I mean, that can be a downside, but I just kind of gone with it and designed my course with that stuff in mind. Go back to. So before I actually jump into the iPad, talk a little bit about some issues that I've had with faculty development. That's kind of been my big thing for the past 5 years. Is the technology is going to change so much. It changes before I can even get ready to train somebody on it. We're using something else already. So I mean, some issues that I've had with faculty development. Tell me if you've heard these before, or if you've said these maybe. I just don't have time. We get that a lot. I mean, especially in higher ed, faculty are advising. They're doing this, they're volunteering for this, they're running student clubs. Oh, and they're teaching 4 classes along with everything else. So they don't have time. I understand that. And that's why we're trying to accommodate them more. They don't have time to come to my Friday afternoon session over Evernote. But I might be able to send them out some info online to do that. I don't need to learn that. I hear that one a lot. I don't need to learn that. And a lot of that's just, they just haven't seen how that works. I won't ever use that in my classroom because of that. Or I'm just not comfortable with using that. I get that one a lot. I'm comfortable standing up there with an iPad. What happens if this goes wrong? What happens if this goes wrong? So I keep dealing with these issues on that. We kept dealing with these issues on faculty development. Problems we were having were just low participation. I've got like 250 instructors that I support. I send an email, hey, Friday afternoon session up in the Dean's conference room. Send it out to 250 people. 10 people might show up. I mean, those are numbers that we're getting. Those are real numbers. And the funny thing is I'll get 30 people sign up for it, and then still only 10 people show up because, well, other things came up. So that's kind of what prompted me to kind of move to something else, like iTunesU. There's another way to get that information out there. Low attendance, if I am getting, people, it's just still low attendance. And if people are showing up, ultimately, they're coming for a session or two, and they're not really engaged. And, they may have tried it out, and they kind of just dropped off. So that's some things that I've been dealing with. So kind of helped us develop some guidelines to help us design better faculty development, more impactful faculty development system, I should say. We started surveying faculty like crazy. We first just started using SurveyMonkey or Google Forms. Does anybody use Qualtrics? We recently went to Qualtrics at our university. One of the best tools ever. It's like I say it's like SurveyMonkey on steroids. It's really, really good, and I love the analytics that it gives us. So I survey faculty all the time. What do you guys want to learn? What do you guys want to know about? What do we need to do differently? So, for Qualtrics. It's actually you get a free account, and I think they just limit you. Yeah. So Qualtrics.com. Here's what it looks like, guys. And like I said, if you've used, I'll post the link up on the Edmodo site too, just so you have it. If you've used SurveyMonkey and you like it, if you try Qualtrics, you'll love it. I mean, it's a lot of like drag and drop features.
Pre-made questions.
Millions of pre-made questions, pre-made surveys, pre-made. It's got a lot of good stuff. Yeah, like customer satisfaction surveys, they're all the same. You can grab the library there and just change words. So, but guys, I would definitely do that. I would definitely survey your faculty. Get an idea of what, because what I thought they wanted to learn was totally different from the numbers I got back from the surveys. I thought, oh, they're going to want to learn this. We're moving to iPads. They're probably going to want to learn this. And I found out, no, they want to learn something else. We've done a lot of focus groups. We brought the 17-minute video that we did. We did a little focus group on it. We brought folks in, let them tear us apart on how do we design this better. Get feedback from faculty. Provide as much flexibility as possible. That's the big thing. Faculty aren't going to be able to make it to every Friday session. Same with teachers. I guess I'm using faculty a lot, but I could also say teachers there as well. The big thing that I found out that's been most beneficial to me, identify your champions and pace setters. Pace setters is something I took from my human resources background. We used to identify the company pace setter. The person is just, they're leading the pack and they're helping everybody. For me, I tried to find those people, those allies that love using the iPad in the classroom, that are then telling their colleagues, oh, hey, you need to try this. And that's the most success that I've had, because they don't want to listen to me. I've been telling them for 5 years, do this, do this, do this. But their colleague in the office right beside them says, hey, if you use the cloud, it's way better. Well, they're using the cloud the next day. So identify those people. Those people are your allies. Those people, they'll jump on the bandwagon. They'll get the other faculty, other teachers involved. We're starting to provide incentives. One of the big things we're doing now, we're giving people a technology incentive. Hey, if you want to teach with an iPad in class, we'll actually give you an iPad to use. Let you use this one. All of a sudden, when we did that, well, then everybody then went, oh, well, then I want to join in. And that kind of has two benefits. Now this iPad is actually in their hands. They're checking their email on it, they're playing games on it, they're Skyping with their grandkids. You know, now this thing's in their hands. So provide them incentives. I found out that in higher ed, just giving people more money, it's not a great incentive. That might be, I don't know, maybe for K-12, maybe if you offer a little bit more money, that might get people involved. But I know with a lot of educators, the recognition, just being recognized as a leader and doing that, some of that might just be, that might be a good enough incentive for some people to do that. Obviously, ongoing support. You can't pump something like this out and just turn your back on it. We've actually had to ramp up all of our support systems. I've had to hire more students to be around for tech support and this and that. So you got to have your ongoing support system in there. And don't be afraid to just totally rethink your professional development. Totally rethink the brown bag lunches. Totally rethink the teacher in-service days where you're off and everybody's just in training for all day long. They just bring guest speakers. Try to rethink that. Try to find a way that you can actually get the faculty, when they're home. When they have free time at home and they're sitting on the couch and they might have a chance to watch this video that you made. Kind of think about different ways that you could do that. So let me show you guys the iTunesU app on the iPad here, and then it's like we all 15 minutes. So that should put me close to the time. We should have some time for some questions. I just want to show you guys what it actually looks like on the iPad here, and just kind of point out that everything that I kind of showed you here on the desktop or on that laptop, it's going to look a lot alike. Okay, good. So iTunesU on the iPad, this nice little icon right here. I think the newest iOS update, I think this is all, it all just kind of, it's on there already when you buy it. That might be. For some folks that have maybe an older iPad or haven't updated yet, it's still, the iTunesU app is available on the App Store, free download. You may have to download that. Just something to note. If you don't see it on your iPad, you're just going to have to go get it. But like I said, a lot of these whole 7 apps now are starting to come free, ready to go, which is kind of cool. I love all these apps right there. So there's iTunesU. You go ahead and click on it. Actually, it should, there it goes. Like I said in the beginning, guys, it's going to ask me to log in every single time.
What's great about that, though, is that the courses you enroll on your iPad automatically show up on your iPhone or any other device that you're logged into. So it's not like it's not a bad thing.
Yeah. Okay, guys, so take a look at it real quick. Remember in the beginning I said, hey, this is it looks a lot alike from what you see on laptop, desktop view, now to the iPad view. It looks a lot alike. Let me actually, what I found out is the iTunesU app really likes to be in, what is that? That's portrait. It really likes to hang out in that portrait form right there. When I turn it to landscape, it kind of gives me that sidebar there, which kind of gives me the rundown of the post. I like looking at it right there. But if we look at that, that looks very similar to what I just kind of showed you guys on the laptop. And I can do a lot of the stuff, now this is what's new, I can do a lot of the stuff that I was doing on my laptop. Now I can do that on here. If I click at the very top, as you can see there's my drop-down menu. I can go in and change my instructor profile. Something I used to not be able to do. I used to have to actually go log in and do all that. I can do all that now on the iPad. I can upload materials. Here's my materials library. From here, I can search the store. I can add an existing photo or video that I've already got. Maybe I've made a video on the iPad right there. I can just upload it straight there. Before I would have to make the video, send it somewhere, get it, fly to the cloud, get it, upload it back. It's just a few more steps. Now the stuff is just right here. Same with creating a course. I can I can create a course right here on the iPad. I don't need to sit on my desktop or laptop to actually create a course. I can just right there. So here, just like I did it before, course name, all that stuff. I can add an image. Say I have the image already there on my iPad. I can add an image, put it all right in there. As you can see, I can do a lot of the same stuff. Let me show you guys, I guess before we wrap up here. Just kind of show you guys. So here is there's the iTunesU, I guess it's a store. It's like a store, I guess.
They call it catalog.
Catalog, there we go. Yeah, so that makes sense, books. Look at book catalog. So guys, I would get on there and go find a cooking class or go find a fine arts class. I think I'm signed up for one, a film appreciation class or something. They do film clips and analyze different film clips and stuff like that. Go on there and check it out. There's so much free stuff on there. There's some featured stuff, some standout courses.
I posted a link to our 101, iPad 101 course to the Moto site.
Okay.
But if you search Hampton City Schools, it'll pop up.
Okay. Actually, what's real nice is these sections right here. I can look for all K-12 schools. I can look for stuff that's not really, maybe some of these training organizations, they could have stuff there. I can also just look at universities and colleges. Let me see if I can bring up Ohio University came right up. So here's kind of ours. Unfortunately, it's just me and another professor that's doing this at our university. There's my course. He's doing a public speaking course on iTunesU, where the students actually have to put an iPad up in front of them, record themselves, and then upload their videos on there. Let me show you guys one of the. And I probably should share this, but Ohio State University, kind of our big brother, they really use this a lot. You check out their course. Yeah, good look at it. They play here in a little bit too. So if you look, we had two courses. If you look, Ohio State's got countless numbers of courses. And I think
Public-facing course.
yeah, these are all public courses. Yeah, they probably have just the same amount of private courses that's just for them. Check out what they've got. 5 days to becoming an online instructor. I might download that. It's kind of cool. If you guys attended the Apple Configurator session, I actually went on the other day and I found there was an Apple Configurator course on there that actually walked you through all that stuff. So, kind of find what you're into. There's a lot of free courses out there that you can kind of pick up. What was you said Hamilton?
Hampton, H-A-M-P-T-O.
Hampton City Schools?
Yeah.
This is you guys. Oh, cool. Oh, that's good. I'll help on that. Thanks.
Yeah, like I said, I was trying to do exactly.
So you look at pictures, okay, cool. So yeah, and actually, iPad 101, so let me guess, this is what you're sending out to your...
This is, we do a 101, and this is how we push out how to use the apps that we put on your iPad with our MDM, and also there's like just how to use the iPad. But we've got instructional videos on Socrative, Educreations, and Overdrive, and then...
you got a lot of pull out. Look at that. You guys got about
those are the materials.
about 15 different. Okay. How do you start with class?
You just hit subscribe.
If I'm sorry to do that, just hit subscribe right there. And depending on how good the course is.
What was the limit you said for only 50 people take it?
That's if you're a part of unaffiliated, if you're not part of a university or a K-12 system that has one, you can have up to 50 people on there.
Or at one time, or?
No, just per course, yeah. So you can have
one time. So like if you didn't want to redesign your course from year to year, kids take it, kick everybody out, get a new enroll code. Next year's kids get the new enroll code, they assign a code. So you don't have to keep duplicating and deleting your course. It's just at one point in time you can only have.
Yeah. So you have, I think 12 courses, 50 people, so 12 times 50, you have that total in all your courses.
And what is affiliation involved? How do you get affiliated? How do you get affiliated?
Basically, your university or school has to sign up with Apple. And I think you probably just go onto the Apple's website, Apple Education website, and there's probably,
It's called a public site, so just do a search for iTunes public site, and then there's an application that you'll want to have someone at the division level fill out. I filled it out personally as a teacher, and I got denied, but then the IT director filled it out, and we got it for school.
I think that's all I had. I was going to go back to my PowerPoint, but I shut that down there. Like I said, I would go check out some courses, see what other folks have done. Go on, check out some courses, take some courses. You might find out, yeah, hey, we're all educators, we all love learning new things. Go take a course, give you some ideas. Gives you some ideas on how to plan this stuff out. Think about videos. And what I say on videos, nothing more than 3-4 minutes. Some quick videos. But keep in mind, a lot of what you're doing for faculty or teachers is you're giving them information for them to go out and get there. They can explore, they can learn on their own. They're great independent learners. They're all adult learners. They can kind of do that. Whereas if you're designing something for younger kids, you might have to do a few things different. Like I said, and what I'll do, guys, what I was thinking, I may make just a site, and I'll post the sign-up link in the Edmodo site. So if you guys wanted to join in, and I guess you can kind of use it as a sandbox and kind of play around and collaborate on that if you guys wanted to, or just join the course and see how it is. But I'll post everything on the Edmodo site here, probably when I get back to Ohio. I know a couple of you attended some of my other sessions. I had some walkthroughs and stuff, so I'll make sure I'll post all that stuff on there. Thank you for attending the session. I hope you guys check out iTunesU. Hope you had some success with it, but I definitely will end with saying, we've had a lot of success with it. Had a lot of success just getting these iPads out into faculty's hands, letting them play with it. That's the big thing, and just getting them more information for them to do what they need to do. So, any questions, you guys? I'll be here I'll just hang out for as long as I need to.